Well, my next guest has a truly unique story to tell, and it has to do with a famous fiddle and the country music legend from Maynardville, Tennessee, the great Roy Acuff. Here to tell us more is the owner of that instrument, Mr. Lamar Peek. Lamar, great to have you here.
Oh, thanks. Pleasure being here.
How did you come into possession of Roy Acuff's fiddle?
Well, it was passed to me through my brother. He retrieved it out of a pawn shop in Opelika, Alabama,
Wow.
of all places. He added it to his collection, and he treasured it, and he played it up until he developed some health issues, and he wasn't able to play it anymore. So he passed away, and he passed it to me to be the custodian of it, and with the idea of passing it on to the family, which I did.
The fiddle sits right over there. We have
Yes.
it in a very prominent place of display. Right. How did it end up in a pawn shop?
My brother requested that I pass it on, which I did. Mm-hmm. And that fiddle wound up with my granddaughter. My granddaughter took it home, of course, put it on the top of the closet shelf in a good, safe place. Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, she got married and moved out of the house. Well, her dad was cleaning out her room, and along with other items, which he took to Goodwill, the fiddle ended up in the pile.
He took that fiddle to give it away.
Just to give it away. So they put it in the auction, and then in doing some research on it, they had contacted my brother's wife, which her name was on the paperwork. She called me, then they referred it to my daughter. So Fox News called my daughter and wanted an interview with the owner of it. Well, my daughter called me and said, "Hey, congratulations, you know, that was a great thing you did by donating that fiddle to Goodwill."
And you didn't know you had done it.
I didn't know I'd done it.
Yeah.
Right. And she said the bid now is up to $7,000. And of course, she said, they want to interview them. Of course, I was speechless and I couldn't have said a word to them. So the next morning I contacted Goodwill and spoke to a number of their people. And finally I was referred to the president, and he and I had some discussions. And we have agreed to meet on the next morning, which was Friday. And I explained the situation to him, that the person who didn't own it didn't have the authority to donate it. And he was gracious enough to return it to me, to pull it out of the auction and return it to me. Yeah. So that being so, that I felt like that he was gracious, so I would be, and I donated $1,000 to Goodwill. Now, there's another story about the donation. My daughter was having a dinner party with a group of her friends, and one of the ladies says, "Well, I'm on the board of directors with Goodwill Industry, and I know all about it." And she said, "Incidentally, we have found out that an anonymous donor had donated $8,000.
So Goodwill got the money, you get the fiddle back.
Everybody's a winner.
And now this fiddle is going to be preserved for all of history.
Right.
And by the way, you know, Lamar, one of the things that I found interesting, I didn't know this until this weekend, Roy Acuff ran for governor of Tennessee in 1948 as a Republican.
Against a Democrat who had insulted him.
Because he said that he wanted to turn Tennessee into the hillbilly capital of the world.
That he did. He did.
Wow. So we have a renowned fiddler, Jim Van Cleve, who is here with us tonight.
Oh, great.
And it just so happens that we ought to have him have his fiddling fingers cut loose on the Roy Acuff fiddle. Jim, take it away. It sounds great.
It does.
Thank you, Jim Van Cleve. And our thanks to Lamar Peek for joining us and sharing the incredible tale of Roy Acuff's fiddle. Now, if you want to see this instrument for yourself, you can visit the Mountain Music Museum in Kingsport, Tennessee, which is a beautiful part of Tennessee. And that's where it's going to be on display, the Mountain Music Museum, an amazing place that celebrates the history of bluegrass and country music that grew out of the Tennessee, Kentucky, and Virginia mountains. Find out more at mountainmusicmuseum.org. Thank you, Lamar, for being here.